Hello everyone, I am Gokul Bajaj, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Brijlal Biyani Science College. Today, I am going to deal with a topic called as direct gene transfer. So, before moving into the topic, you can see this picture. Definitely, these are not the real pictures for today, but they can be the scenario of future. Traditionally, they were called as the hybrids, but in future, they will be called as the genetically modified organism. One more slide of the genetically modified or hybrid plants. So they are called as the GMO, that is genetically modified organism. And the science of creating genetically modified organism is called as genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology. So these are the few steps of creating the genetically modified organism. So you need to extract the DNA first. After extracting the DNA, you need to transfer that gene of interest inside the host cell, and that is the most important step of the process of creating genetically modified organism is transfer of gene. So there are two methods of transfer of gene, that is indirect gene method and the direct gene method. Indirect gene transfer is vector dependent while direct one is vector independent. In this picture you can see in indirect gene transfer, you need another organism or another vector for creating the genetically modified organism. But in direct gene transfer, you don't need any kind of another organism to create the genetically modified organism. So direct gene transfer. There are various ways of direct gene transfer, that is gene gun method, electroporation, microinjection, liposome mediated, and the silicon carbide method. So few are the physical methods or few are the chemical methods. Why we are doing this? So look at this image. Now the plant cell is having the thick cell wall made up of cellulose. So in order to create the genetically modified organism, we need to insert a gene of interest inside the plant cell. But as the plant cell is very thick, we need to create the pores or we need to penetrate the cell wall. So why we are doing this? To form the pore on the cell wall or to increase the permeability, or we can say we want to physically impregnate the cell wall. So first, the gene gun method. As the name suggests, we bombard the gene or we fire the DNA into the target cell. This method can be called as the ballistic method, microprojectile method, or the particle bombardment method. This was invented by John Stanford in the year 1984. In this, cells are physically impregnated with the nucleic acid. It is a device for plant cell transformation where cells are bombarded with the heavy metal particles coated with the nucleic acid, that is DNA or RNA. So in the process, what we do is we take the gene of interest and we coat the surface of tiny particles of gold or tungsten. But prior to coating, DNA is precipitated with the calcium chloride, pyrimidine, and the polyethylene glycol. This increases the cohesive and adhesive property of DNA for the gold or tungsten particle. Then these coated microparticles are loaded on to the macro carrier. That macro carrier is the most important part of this process. Then we accelerate this macro carrier with the high speed using the pressurized helium gas, and we can get finally the transformed plant cell. So we can see this in this visual that the gold particle or tungsten particles are pressurized with the help of helium gas. So the micro projectile, that micro means small in size, but projectile means high pressure, so are accelerated to high velocity by a particle gun apparatus. So the pressure created by helium gas is around 1000 psi. As the micro projectile penetrates the cell wall and membrane to enter the cell, coated DNA is released from its surface and incorporated into the plant genome. So plant can be called as the transformed cell. Provided an effective and versatile way to transform all the type of cells, and it has been proven to be successful alternative for creating transgenic organisms in prokaryotes, mammalian cell, and the plant species. So advantages of the gene gun method. So this system is species independent. There is no barrier of species. Then can be used for wide range of organisms. Requirement of protoplast is not mandatory. Transformation of organelle DNA like mitochondrial DNA or the chloroplast DNA can be achieved through this. Multiple genes can be incorporated at the same time, and particle can be coated with the DNA or RNA with large fragments of nucleic acid. At the same time, it has that disadvantage too. So it damages the tissue. The tissue damage is the major issue. It is the limited regeneration capacity of tissue after bombardment. Then less efficiency of stable integration of DNA. The DNA which we have released inside the host cell, it may not get integrated into the plant DNA. Then insertion of multiple copies of the same gene. It may happen that same gene has been copied multiple times. Then specialized and expensive equipments are required. So that is the major drawback. Next is the electroporation. As the name suggests, electro means electric current, while poration means formation of pore. So it is a process in which we form the pores on cell membrane by using the short electrical impulse of high field cells. It was invented by Fromm and his co-worker in the year 1986. And this impulses increases the permeability of cell membrane and facilitates the entry of DNA molecule into the host cell. So here you can see this, the bilipid layer after the electrical discharge has been disturbed and the pores are formed. With this pore, through this pore, the large genetic material can enter inside the cell. So process. We need to take the suspension of cells with plasmid DNA for the electroporation in electroporation cuvette. Then cuvette is placed between the electrodes and electrical pulses are applied to that. Then temporary micropores are formed on the cell membrane. Now cell will take up the DNA through these pores. Finally, we will get the transformed cell. So in this visual, we can see these micropores are formed due to the electrical impulses, and the DNA is getting incorporated inside the cell. So this is the plasma membrane which is forming the pores. Types. There are two types of electroporation. One is low voltage and high pulse, while another is the high voltage short pulse. So cells which are arrested at metaphase stage of cell cycle are especially suitable for electroporation. Now why we need to take the cells which are in metaphase? Because in metaphase there is no nuclear envelope, that is, there is no nuclear membrane. So when there will be no nuclear membrane, so there is a most probability of the DNA of getting incorporated directly inside the chromosome. So protoplasts are used for electroporation of plant cells, as thick plant cell wall restricts the movement of DNA inside the cell. And the cellular suspension in cuvette contains 7% PEG, that is polyethylene glycol, which increases the efficiency of transformation. Advantages. It is highly versatile and effective for nearly all cell types. It is fast and less expensive. It is highly efficient method, as majority of cells takes in the target molecule. It has low cell toxicity and only small amount of DNA is required to carry out this method. While disadvantages are such as cell damage is often the major limitation. Irregular intensity of pulses may result in the formation of too large pores, which fails to close after the membrane discharge. So that the membrane will be open as well, and cell will get damaged and dead. Then the non-specific transport, which may result in the ion imbalance of the cell and cell may lead to the death. Difficulty in regenerating plants from protoplast if protoplast is used for the electroporation. So the next is one very important technique called as the micro injection. As the name suggests, the micro means very minute, or the fine glass micropipette is manually used to inject the transgene at microscopic level inside the cell. So here we can see this in picture. The cell is holded by the cell holder, and the very fine glass micropipette is used to inject the DNA directly. So it is a manual process. It was invented by Dr. Marshall Barber in the year 1910. And microinjection involves direct mechanical introduction of DNA into the nucleus or cytoplasm using glass microcapillary injection or micropipette. Process. The delivery of foreign DNA is done under a powerful microscope. Then, using a glass micropipette tip of 0.5 micrometer diameter, we put the DNA, or we release the DNA inside the cell. That holding pipette is placed in the view field of the microscope that sucks and hold the target cell. So micropipette injects through the membrane and the DNA is released inside the nucleus. So here we can easily see this in this visuals that how the cell is getting transgenic or getting transformed. So this method is widely used for gene transfer in animal cells. Fine tip is used of 0.5 to 1 micrometer diameter. So glass needles or the micropipette. So the specialized microscope is used in this process, which is called as the micro manipulator, and computerized control of holding pipettes, needle, microscope stage, and video technology has improved the efficiency of this technique, because it is very tedious and with very like skilled person is required to do this. Instead of using marker gene, dyes can be used to identify the transformed cell. Now, what are the advantages of the microinjection? This technique does not require protoplast, no need of marker genes, as we can use the dye here. Then instruments are very simple and cheap, technically simple. Frequency of stable transgene of DNA is better as compared to any other method, and the DNA which is integrated in this process is subjected to less extensive modification. While disadvantage, it is very less specific, less efficient, frequency of transformation is very low, skilled person is required, more useful for animal cells because cell wall again restrict the movement of that microinjection inside it. Then embryonic cells are preferred in this technique of manipulation. So, and if at the end, that method is useful for protoplast in case of plant, as the plant cell wall again restrict the movement. And this is it for today. Thank you.